Hello friends, hope you are doing well. Today we will do the lab of active and passive HA setup in FortiGate firewall. So what do you mean by HA? HA means high availability. Say for example, if I am having one site where I am having a FortiGate firewall, what if the primary FortiGate firewall fails? Then we don't want such kind of outages, right? So in that cases, we can have two firewalls, and between them we can form a HA link so that the traffic and the entire configuration which the primary firewall is having, which is known as active firewall in case of FortiGate, will get synchronized with the secondary firewall, which is known as passive firewall. So what are the requirements for this? We need to keep the what I can say, the network connectivity same for the primary firewall and same for the secondary firewall as well, passive firewall. But there should be an HA link, port 5 and port 4. So as per FortiGate, we can connect total 8 ports as to form the HA link, and these ports are known as heartbeat interfaces. Okay, so I will explain our topology. So this is my LAN network. Okay, they will get IP address from this FortiGate firewalls. Okay, whoever is active, and once they get IP address, I am having two WAN routers. Okay, and this is my transit switch. So here I am having configuring a virtual IP to have a common static default route for the for my LAN network to go to the internet. And once the traffic reaches to whichever router who is having the HSRP gateway active, okay, so after that the traffic will come to the router, to that specific router who is having the HSRP gateway active, and it will go to internet. Pretty simple, right? So let's get started, and I will explain you more about the active firewall setup I had in the lab. Okay. First of all, I will do the basic configuration like the LAN IP and the port 2 IP, which is my gateway IP. And after that, we will move towards the HA configuration. Okay. For that, for showing you the guys the gateway, I need to power on these routers. It will also I do. Meanwhile, I will configure the port 3. This is my LAN interface. I will say inside in our case, inside LAN 172.16 16. Okay. I want ping and HTTP and SSH. I will make it as a DHCP server. Okay. Now I will configure the outside LAN. Outside LAN is in the port 2. So what will be my IP over here? So our gateway IP is 172.17.0.1. For that purpose only I need to see the, I don't want any duplicate IP addresses over here. So that's why I need the console of this routers. Let me check the IP scheme. Okay, 1.2. Okay, pretty good. I will give it as 1.4 over here slash 16. Okay, and click on OK. Now what I will do, I will give a static route. Before giving the static route, I want to explain you the this HSRP configuration. Okay, I will go into the router 4. So what I've done, I have configured the LAN side. Okay, this is my LAN side, and this is my WAN side. Okay, and what I've configuration over done over here to maintain a virtual gateway. Okay, I have created a HSRP between these two Cisco routers. Okay, so there will be a common gateway. So our virtual gateway is this one. Okay, this is having the highest priority and preemption is enabled. Okay, so that all the traffic will come over this router only. This router is the standby active router. So, standby brief. Say active router is local. After that, I have configured the IP NAT inside. Okay, and I have configured the IP NAT outside. This is my outside interface. Now I've connected these routers to my home internet. Okay, this router will get an IP address from DHCP, which it has got. Okay, after that, I have configured an ACL IP access list extended HA permit IP any, which means I want to permit all kind of traffic coming from the LAN. After that, I have created a NAT rule. This is a PAT rule basically in NAT. IP NAT inside source list. Okay, and I've called this ACL over here, extended ACL, and interface, outside interface. Translate all the traffic coming from this access list to this outside interface IP address, which is this IP address 192.168.0.166 and pat it. Okay, so this is my configuration on both the routers. Now, in case if this router goes down, the traffic will automatically go over here due to the HSRP election. It is pretty simple. You can similarly check the configuration on this router. Okay, you can just take the pause the video and take the screenshot. Okay, this is the configuration. Now I will come towards the gateway. So what is my HSRP gateway? This is my HSRP gateway. Okay, automatically it has selected the outside interface 1.4 and 1.1. Now we have to create the firewall policies. Inside, outside, source I will keep all, destination also I will keep all, and all. Okay, and I will enable this one. Similarly, I will create a reverse clone policy. Mhm. Okay, I will create it outside LAN, inside LAN. I don't want netting to happen over here. Okay, so netting is done only from for this interface to this interface. But when the traffic will come from internet, okay, when it will come over here, I don't want any kind of netting to happen over here because I am having a default gateway. Okay, so return traffic can directly go via default gateway. Okay, now we are done with the what I can say the basic configuration. Now we will come to the actual topic. What is active passive setup in FortiGate firewall? In active passive setup, only one firewall will handle the traffic. Okay, all the traffic will go from the active firewall. None of the traffic will go from the passive firewall. Okay, load balancing is not happening over here. Load only the traffic will get shifted to the passive firewall when this firewall will go down. Okay, I have to go in system, go into HA. Yet there are three modes: standalone mode, active passive, and active. So basically, this protocol is being used. FortiGate, even I don't know FortiGate's. You can check on internet FortiGate session protocol. Okay, so this is the actual concept of FortiGate for in case of HA. So this is a cluster basically. I will click on active passive. Default priority it is 128. So you can see the device with higher priority is more likely to become the HA primary. Okay, so I will keep it as 128 only. I will give a group name. I will change the password to 123456. Okay, by default session pickup is disabled. Session pickup means I want to send this session to this secondary firewall, passive firewall. Okay, and which interfaces you want to monitor? You can monitor the LAN as well as the WAN interface. So I will monitor both the interfaces. Okay, in case if the LAN interface goes down or WAN interface goes down, but the FortiGate is up, automatically the traffic will go over here. Okay, to the secondary passive firewall. Port 2 and port 3. Now I will give the heartbeat interfaces. So what are heartbeat interfaces? They don't have any IP address, first of all. Okay, I think the API IP address range is being used over here for communication, and basically you have the specific Ethernet values for keeping the heartbeat pair up. I will show you the Ethernet packets as well. Okay, when the HS setup will be active. Port 5 and port 4. Okay. Now what is the interface priority? The interface with higher priority will be preferred. Okay, say for example if I'm giving a priority 421 over here and I'm giving a priority 119, so the heartbeat interfaces traffic, okay, will go via port 4 because it is having the highest priority. Okay, so now I will click on OK. Meantime I'm running the secondary firewall. You can check. Actually the RAM is booting up, there are lots of devices, that's the reason the CPU is getting high. Okay, as of now it has primary. See, you can see this is the primary firewall. What I will do, I will on this firewall as well. And 68.0.116/24 set allow access HTTP and HTTPS. Now in this firewall we have to just do the HA configuration. Apart from that the other configuration will be automatically synchronized. Let me just check the HA over here. Okay. I will go over here. I will give the lower priority because this is the passive firewall. I will give the group name as HA and change the password. See, similar password should be there. Here I've given the password 123456. Similarly, over here it will should be the same. Session pickup, monitor interface. I want to monitor the port 2 and port 3. Heartbeat interface, port 4 and port 5. Similar priority I will give. I will keep this 0. Okay. And here I will give 421. Okay. Now it will take some time to synchronize with the secondary firewall, with the primary firewall. Sorry. See, it is not synchronized. Now I will show you the configuration in the CLI. System HA. So the group name is HA, mode is active passive, password it is encrypted, heartbeat interface is port 4. Why? Because it has given the higher priority, 421, and port 0 is the lower priority. Session pickup enable, set override is disable. I will explain, but this topic, what is the meaning of this command. But I will explain the need. I will first generate the need for this. Okay, then you guys will understand this in a better way. Okay, so this is the configuration. You can check in the FortiGate, secondary FortiGate. It is still synchronizing. It will take some time, around 5 to 10 minutes. It takes, guys. It is normal. Okay. In meantime, I will on this PC. Interfaces are not yet up. That's why Dora process is not working. It is completely fine. Once the switch comes up, we will get the IP. See, it is because the switch is not yet up. Sorry. You can just refresh over here. It takes time, guys. See, this is the IP which is used to form the cluster 169.254.0.1. Okay. Now this PC can get the IP. You guys can see it has got an IP. Yeah. It's completely fine, guys. I think I need to close this one because it will come up with the same IP now. It is forming a cluster basically. This is my primary firewall. This is the secondary one. This is the primary one. Yeah, it is synchronized, guys. Okay, so the same configuration will get replicated over here. Okay. Uh, so how these guys communicate? How the HA interfaces are communicating, the hardware interfaces basically. I will show you. Okay. If you have watched my previous videos, we can use the diagnose command over here to check the HA packets. Basically, it is kind of embedded packet capture. So you can just check diagnose hardware device info NIC port 1. This is the hardware IP, hardware information. Okay. Now what I will do, I will do the packet capture, diagnose, sniffer, packet, any. Okay. And there is a Ethernet protocol. Okay. So you have to type ether proto 0x 8890. Okay. And on which interface I want to do the how many like if I check, okay, how many packets I want to enter, print header of packets with the interface name. Okay, I will click for see port 4 and port 5. Okay, both of them are communicating with this Ethernet packets, Ether packets. Now if I type 3, see port 4 and port 5 are communicating with these packets. There's an HA interfaces. And all the traffic, the HS synchronization is also happening with this with the help of this HI interfaces. If these interfaces go down, there will be no synchronization, guys. Okay. Now let's check the role. Okay, this is the primary firewall, and this is the secondary firewall. They are communicating within the cluster over this IP. Okay, now what we will do, we will ping from the LAN to the gateway. Okay, I will give a continuous ping. Okay, so by default, traffic will come over here only because this is the active firewall. Okay, system session list. See the LAN IP. This is my PC IP 172.16.0.2. This one is getting NATed to 172.17.1.4 over this port to communicate with this public IP. And here also it will NAT and it will go to the internet. Now, if I check over here, okay, the traffic is not coming from the LAN over here. You guys can see 170 to 16 series is not coming because this is the passive firewall. Okay. Now, just to prove our point, what I will do, I will shut down this firewall. Okay. And check if there is any outage or not. Okay. You guys can see There is no outage because the traffic is getting failover to this file. You guys can see it is coming to this and it is getting natted to the 172.17.1.4 to communicate with this public IP. So if you check in the HA cluster, see, this is the only firewall. It doesn't even have a cluster now. Okay. Now, as per our concept, this firewall I will again on it, so the traffic should automatically get failover to this firewall, right? Let's check if it happens or not. Okay. Here there is an outage. Okay. No, sorry, there is no outage. You guys can see there was no outage. So this is the use of basically having two devices in HA cluster. Okay, so our primary firewall is coming up. Okay, so guys, traffic should go over here, right? But it will not go, and I will explain why. It will still go from the secondary firewall only. See, primary is this firewall. This is my firewall 102, and it is still secondary, even after having the higher priority. You know why? You know why? I will explain. Because in this firewall, see, override is disabled. By default, it is disabled. What do you mean by override disabled? Override means whenever a primary firewall with higher priority will come up, it will not take up its original role because of the override. This is as good as preemption mechanism in HSRP. Okay. Say for example, if I'm having two HSRP gateways, one is having higher priority, second one is having lower priority. If the priority first router goes down, the secondary router will become active. But again, if the primary router comes up, if it has preemption disabled, then it will not participate in the HSRP active router election. So same concept is here. Okay. So what I will do, I will enable it. Now see the magic. See, it has logged off. Now I think yeah. Now you can see the minimum packet loss because the original active router is taking its role again. So there will be minimal downtime. See, it has taken the role again. So that's why I wanted to, generate the need and explain the actual use of this command. So what do you mean by, I will again explain, and I will give an overview. Okay, this is my group name, this is my mode, this is my password, this is my heartbeat. So higher priority with the interface. So for example, port 1, port 4 is given higher priority. Then this port 4 will be used for sending the heartbeat messages. Okay. Set session pickup enable means this it will basically synchronize the sessions with the other firewall. Okay. Let me check what is the exact command. Even I am not sure about this. Let's Google, guys, what is set session pickup in FortiGate. Even I will learn it with you. To enable, okay, what is session pickup? Enables the new primary to resume active after a failover, minimizing the disruption. It works synchronizing it. Okay. So basically, if you don't enable session pickup, the the active sessions which this active firewall is having will not get synchronized with the secondary passive firewall. And in case of failure, again new TCP sessions or again new sessions need to be found with the passive firewall. Okay, so that is the major difference. Both the commands play a major role. Set session pickup, okay, and set override enable. Now both of them are enabled in our concept. Okay, so now traffic is again going via the primary firewall. Get system session list. And here, sorry, here I don't have the sessions. Okay, so that's all for this video. I hope you will have liked this video and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. Thank you guys.